And now for the Week 1 recap. The Detroit Legends beat People's Temple. The Washington Weasels snuck by Seth. Young Man lost to Your Mother. Queso Kings beat CD's Nuts. And DMAS beat Madison Area Carpet Cleaning. The first matchup, the Washington Weasels player of the game was Dak Prescott, as projected, at 27.42 points, performing 7.23 points above the projected. And the biggest bum of the Weasels was the Packers Swiss cheese defense, putting up negative 4 points, minus 11.77 projected, with a final score of 127.62. While Seth's player of the game was Chef Russ, cooking up 27.06 points with a plus 5.69 projected. And unfortunately, Rod the God was the biggest bum this week for Seth, putting up 4 points, minus 1.81 points from his projected, and only putting up 126.20 points, making this the closest matchup this week. Here's an overview of the player stats individually. Now on to the Detroit Legends People's Temple matchup. The Detroit Legends won this matchup, and Amari Cooper, as projected, was the player of the game for the Detroit Legends, putting up 38.90 points, plus 23.23 over the projected. And Saquon was the biggest bum, only putting up 3.7 points, minus 13.03 from the projected, putting up a total of 150.58 points. And the People's Temple player of the game was Jalen Hurts, putting up 28.76 points, plus 9.46 over the projected, while Zeke was the biggest bum, putting up 7.63 less points than his projected, with a final score of 124.06. And there's the overview. Now on to Young Man versus Your Mother. Your Mother had Kyler Murray, who put up plus 11.34 over his projected, putting a total of 33.56 points on the board, while the Bills' defense underperformed, putting up 2 points, minus 4.11 points below their projected. Young Man had Corey Davis shine in Week 1, putting up 26.70 points, plus 14.63 above the projected, while the biggest bum was Mike Gesicki, putting up 0 points, minus 9.73 projected, with a total of 103.98, while Your Mother put up 146.16. There's that overview. CD's Nuts saw Tyreek Hill shine in Week 1, putting up 37.10 points, 15.92 above his projected, while Eric Ebron put up 2.9, 7.25 below his projected, with a total of 96.8 points. The Queso Kings had Marvin Jones shine, not too bright, but bright enough, at 18.70 points and 3.26 above the projected, while James Robinson put up 8.4 points, 6.73 points below projected, with a final score of 116.08. The overview. Lamar did shine over Ryan Tannehill in this matchup. However, it was not enough to keep CD's Nuts on top. DMAS had the player of the game, surprisingly, not be Aaron Rodgers. In fact, the biggest bum for DMAS's team was Aaron Rodgers. Adam Thielen put up 30.20 points in a spectacular performance Week 1, putting up 15.83 higher than the projected, while Aaron Rodgers was 19.77 points below projected at 1.32 points, with a 36.8 passer rating. DMAS did win this matchup, putting up 136 points in the Week 1 matchup, and Madison Area Carpet Cleaning only put up 122.20. However, Darren Waller did ball out. He did put up 26.50 points, which is 6.85 points more than his projected, while the Pats defense kind of struggled and put up 5 points, which is 2.14 points below their projected. There's that overview. Now on to weekly awards. The weekly award for highest scoring bench player goes to MVP Jameis on the Queso Kings bench, putting up 29.62 points that went nowhere. The unreal combo of the week was Amari Cooper and Pat Mahomes, putting up 72.18 combined for the Detroit Legends. The top player of the week obviously goes to Amari Cooper, putting up 38.90 points, and trash can of the week obviously goes to Rodgers, putting up negative 90.77 points on the projected, only putting up 1 point. Amari Cooper was working overtime, putting up 23.23 points over the projected for the Detroit Legends. Obviously, a lot of Amari Cooper this week for his amazing performance week 1. Now on to the power rankings going into week 2. The Detroit Legends top the list off, and followed by your mother, DMAS, the Washington Weasels, the Queso Kings, Seth, People's Temple, Madison Area Carpet Cleaning, Young Man, and CD's Nuts. Even with Seth putting up 126.20, which is 10 points more than Queso Kings, he still falls to the number 6 spot in the power rankings due to being faced up against the Washington Weasels in the close week 1 matchup. Week 2 preview. The Detroit Legends take on the Washington Weasels at home. The projected star for the Detroit Legends is Devontae Adams, projected to put up 23.76 points. And the Washington Weasels are projected to have their player of the week be Stephon Diggs, putting up 21.85 points projected. However, the Detroit Legends are projected to edge out the Washington Weasels by a decent margin of 13 points, putting up 132.07 projected compared to the Washington Weasels 119.87 projected. Young Man is projected to win his Week 2 matchup, with Herbie being the projected star at 21.07 points, while the People's Temple's projected star is Jalen Hurts at 17.92 projected. Young Man is projected to score 111.89, while People's Temple is projected to score 110.96. This will be a close matchup to watch. The Queso Kings are taking on Seth this week, with Alvin Kamara once again projected to be the Week 1 Player of the Week, Week 2 Player of the Week now. Projected star for Seth is going to be Russell Wilson, again, at 22.03 points, but only projected to put up 102.06 total, while the Queso Kings are projected to slaughter them, putting up 36 more at 138.51 points. DMAS takes on your mother this week, with Travis Kelce being the projected star for his team at 23.08 points, while Kyler Murray is the projected star for your mother, being projected 21.47 points. However, DMAS is expected to beat your mother by 2 points, putting up 130.15 points compared to your mother's 128.32 points. Now on to Brady's predictions for Week 1. Brady predicts the Detroit Legends will beat the Washington Weasels. He also predicts that Young Man will slash People's Temple. The Queso Kings will come out on top over Seth. DMAS will lose to your mother. And that Madison Area Carpet Cleaning will take their second loss to CD's Nuts. Thank you for watching this week's episode of the MGFFL show, and make sure to come back next week for the final scores and next week's preview. As always,